happening now like it has before at the universities in a time of war. Put people together, they'll communicate, talk about things like college and state, talk about the research that built the Iron Dome, talk about their relatives starving back at home, talk about tuition and where the money's spent and where all the buildings in Gaza went. Wake up each morning and the headlines say how many hundreds of Palestinians died today, how many thousands were killed in the past week. People get together, people speak, the newscasters say with surety the campuses lack security. Meanwhile, across the ocean wide, Palestinian genocide. People are saying they won't leave till they win, and then the police are sent in. Beaten and arrested staff and students, and to try to silence this growing movement, they're punishing people for making it known that the direct connection can be easily shown. How the investments of this institution are funding another final solution. Where it goes is anyone's guess. After all, this is the U.S. Battles have been lost and won, but with bombs being dropped every day by the ton, with the orphaned and famished beneath the sky, waiting for the moment when it's their turn to die. Some people just can't look away. They have to set up a tent on the campus and say, boycott, sanction, and divest. 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 Boycott, sanction, and divest.
Well, I hope that you guys could hear the volume on that. I couldn't, but I am still a Luddite after all these years of broadcasting on StreamYard. And I have in the past played videos in the course of a broadcast. Yeah, anyway, later I can find out. Or somebody can comment and tell me if you just heard the volume on that. But I can't change it, the past. Anyway, but I thought I would do a little broadcast starting with that video because I just got it from the wonderful filmmaker who made the video part, which, I know you just saw if you were watching, although I don't know if you heard it. But the phenomenon of the Hasbara trolls, of the pro-Israel trolls, and how extremely active they have been on social media, and in my experience, particularly on Facebook, since late February, since I started getting targeted methodically and threatened with legal action by UK Lawyers for Israel in their charitable trust, going after venues in England. And February, the same time they started doing that, I started becoming, the victim of this trolling campaign. And I think it's very interesting to actually look at the narrative being presented, and I've written about it as well in SAA Forum and stuff like that. But I just thought there's so much of it now happening that it's completely way too much. Even if I spent all day blocking and deleting and sort of cleaning up my Facebook page so it's not a platform for their bile, then it doesn't it would be impossible. It's just way too much. And when they are commenting in on posts where there are other comments from other people, like supporters or other folks who agree with me in my general worldview, that like this is a genocide happening, being perpetrated by Israel with American lots of American involvement. And when it's a comment, when it's a post where there is a normal sort of, bunch of comments from people that would seem like normal, familiar, kind of fellow lefty types. And then there are, sort of the trolls interjecting their perspective, and sometimes with a bit of nuance and like they're real, really trying to be part of a conversation. Then that's when they're trolling is, I think, especially effective, potentially, because people think these are real people with real perspectives, rather than a troll farm where people are being paid to post, and where they're being fed these posts and told to share them and comment on them and all this, and it's very methodical, and it's clearly when it's thousands and thousands of comments on one post, which is very unusual for somebody like me. I rarely get anything close to that. Even 10% would be of what I'm getting would be a tremendous response under normal circumstances. But then with the trolling campaign going on, it's so extremely more than one would normally ever get if you're like, me. Then it's just I'm not sure how much point there is from the perspective of the pro-Israel trolls in that case. When all the comments are from them, when it's clearly just them. And it's also interesting how little engagement these posts on Facebook get from my actual friends and actual fans and actual, other people who I I actually know and who would like the posts and agree with them. So, but I thought I'd spend a bit of time now after that intro, going through these some of these comments, and I'll do it. I'll talk and read them. But for people who can, who have a big enough screen and are watching in video form, then you can see the comments. But I'll get to one of the recent posts where this was just actually last night, and you can see this video that I just put out. It's gotten 5 reactions, 1 share. The trolls don't comment on the videos or the essay. When I post an essay or a video, like here, this one, nobody's seen it. Nobody's seen it. This post, no reactions, no comments. This was a post from 4 hours ago, an essay. And here's another post from 4 hours ago. It's gotten 4 comments. And I'm sure because of and it's here, it's imagine your daughter being held right now, a hostage in Gaza after she was raped and abused. How does it feel, Mr. White Privileged? This is somebody who clearly is challenged with the English language, as is generally the case with these trolls. Mr. White Privileged. I assume he means Mr. White Privilege. And this is the most common theme that they go on. That was just a freelancer of some kind. Here is the post, and I'll just read the post because I'm sure, and I have barely looked at the responses. This is just 15 hours ago, this post, and I've barely seen the responses because I don't have time for this. I have other things to do, like raise kids and sleep and write songs and whatever else. But this is the post was May 1st plans. My new album Bearing Witness drops on all the music streaming platforms. I'll be live on KBOO Community Radio at 8 a.m. Pacific time. After that, I'll do some midday Mayday busking at PSU around the area where this sign is, with a set of Gaza songs. And for those who are listening and can't see the sign, it says it's a defaced sign for PSU, and it says "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free." and it is at South Park Blocks, right near where the farmers market happens, and just a block away or so from where the library is occupied, and by students right now waiting to be evicted. And this post has been, as you can see, 1.8 thousand comments, 3.9 thousand reactions, and 254 shares, which is like, if I have a post that's about a new anything I'm doing, a tour, typically the posts that get the most reaction in my world are like when I'm posting from an airport and I'm about to go on a tour. And those posts will get a fair amount of engagement and might get shared a few dozen times and might get a few hundred comments, and that would be extremely successful. And it's like a few times a year, usually with posts like that. But lately it's like every other day. 1.8 thousand comments, 254 shares. Here's another from just a few days ago this is probably a record. When I posted this one, have banner will travel, and it's I shall soon be the proud borrower of this banner. Anyone within 100 miles of Portland who wants to hold this banner while I play appropriate songs and people give appropriate speeches through my sound gear, hit me up. And it's a banner I'm still waiting for in the mail, but Al Klatkowski has sent it in the mail, and it says "Stop Genocide Now, Permanent Ceasefire Now." And that picture, that banner, the picture of that banner and that little post, it has been seen by a few, friends and supporters and fans and people who are planning on holding the banner, as I mentioned there, in various places. But overwhelmingly, this post has been seen by pro-Israel trolls, and overwhelmingly the people who have commented and shared this are pro-Israel trolls, I guarantee. Although I have not nearly gone through these 8.3 thousand comments. This has been shared 2.1 thousand times and had 8.3 thousand comments and 24,000 reactions, and this post is only 3 days old. That is just so far beyond the kind of engagement I normally would ever get. And obviously, these people are not followers or friends or anything like that. This is a troll farm. They're getting this stuff distributed to them for them to do things with. And as you'll be able to see, the one of the things that trolls have in common here is, other than presumably paid, I'm sure mostly not just freelancers. I don't have proof for that, but one thing that is clear is that most of them don't speak very good English, which nothing wrong with that, but I just point that out because in the United States and in England, where UK Lawyers for Israel is based, and in Israel, most people speak very fluent English. So I believe that these trolls are being hired from somewhere else, and of course I don't know where. I'm looking. If people have any comments, by the way, I will check back on the StreamYard platform now and then to see if there's anybody commenting on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, or X. But mostly I'm looking at another window where I have this Facebook nonsense. So just looking, I'm gonna, instead of most relevant, do all comments, because and then just in the past few seconds now, it's gone up to 1.9 thousand comments, 265 shares, 4.1 thousand responses. Okay, here we go. From so Luke Smith, whose picture is a flag of England. I'm going to make copies and resell them to take your money away, and don't know how that works. And then we have a couple of positive responses. Inshallah, amen. And then we back to the trolls. Delia Koren, sounds vaguely Israeli. OMG, you are so pathetic. And then we have a friend, long live Palestine, from Ji Jan Se, maybe somebody in Korea. And then you're like Billy Bragg, except a hack, which I assume is an insult. I'm not sure. Okay, I guess that means I'm no good at songwriting or something. And then we have a classic one from Zohar Kadosh, From the Toilet to the Sea. This is and with Israeli flag colors and then Israeli flag love and somebody says 1st May means praying for peace in the world. That may or may not be a troll. I don't know. Sometimes they just say random things that they feel like might be trollish, but I don't know. Thanks, love, and respect from PA. From the river to the sea, Jerusalem kingdom will be free. That's a Hasbro troll, which is that they love to take these slogans and make use of them for themselves. From the river to the sea, Israeli you will see. This is some Wim Appelmans, who I'm sure is not actually Dutch or Belgian, despite the name, because they all speak really good English there, and this is not. From the river to the sea, Israel is all you will see, I believe is what this flag is all you will see is what he's trying to do there. And usually it's accompanied by a graphic with an Israeli flag. But on this post, they're very short on graphics so far. And usually they're really using a lot of AI-generated graphics. Crimea River to the sea. Israel is all you'll ever see, and lots of laughing and crying when they're commenting. Let's see some and then we have some folks pushing back, which the trolls often do, comment on comments in order to push back. Here we have somebody commenting, "Evil always wins." Presumably that's a anti-Zionist responding to the Zionist who says Israel is all you'll ever see. And then let's see who responds. No good will win sooner or later. Who knows? Marty Perkins. I'm not sure if they're trying to be a troll or not. And they get into an argument, which is always quite a lot of people who are willing to engage with these trolls despite the complete pointlessness of it, but it seems completely pointless to me. But anyway, the troll then is, of course, shoots down the arguments against them and says, "Not Hamas will cease to exist. You are an idiot terrorist lover. It's funny, you idiots, easily manipulated by these Hamas fools. When they get you, don't yell for help. It will fall on deaf ears. They will get you before me. By the way, God bless Israel." So this is part of their one of the tropes they are frequently going back to is about how these people who are complaining about genocide, if we actually went to Gaza or spent any time with Hamas members, then they'd kill us for one reason or another. Of course, there's a anti-Israel comment, and then we got the most popular theme, Ariel Averbuch. You got any good songs about hostages? Asking for a tortured friend. So this is they want to talk about the hostages, and then the theme they're constantly getting into is that I'm sure they'll be repeating regularly is there was a ceasefire on October 6th, which is not true. There was a brutal siege and occupation on October 6th, and they say, if the hostages were freed, then this war would end. And they have, of course, no reason to say that or any actual proof of this nonsense claim, but that's what they say. Here's another. Your place is in Afghanistan, and they have a graphic. Finally, there's a graphic. They're usually much more into graphics. And then it's a picture of a something. What was this? That the mosque was built on top of the temple, and theoretically, and therefore, they're not occupiers. Is the gist here. So you built this 1330 years old on top of this 2978 years old, and I'm the one occupying your land. That's the rationale with that. Let's see. Now that okay. For the river to the sea, there is always be and always be Israel. There's another Jeffrey Dreitzman. That sounds like somebody who should be his name is Jeffrey, which is spelled in the typical Anglo way. And you would assume that Jeffrey Dreitzman is a fluent English speaker. But for the river to the sea, there is always be and always be Israel. So. But we know what this person or bot or I mean, it's not a bot. A bot would speak better English, so it's clearly a person. But then we got here David Zaltzman. Let's see what David Zaltzman says. David Rovics, the irony is lost on no one that you have a biblical name. You are named after the second king of Israel, born 967 BC, over 1500 years before Muhammad was born or the Quran written. One of David's most famous acts was killing Goliath, the Philistine, the people who modern-day Palestinians claim to be. Great job, David. Your parents must be so proud. Well, I guess this is a friend. And then he gets attacked. Palestinians are still a bunch of Philistines. They refuse to accept modernity. Yeah, especially when their homes are bombed and they have no access to running water or electricity. That's one way to reject modernity, huh? And then somebody fights back. Oh no, they're agreeing with this Zionist and this Marcia Popkin Sandler, another who sounds like she probably would speak English well. Eric says true, and they maintain the warmongering and other evil behavior that defined the ancient Philistines. Oh, that was an actual English sentence. And here we have somebody saying, I guess in reference to me planning on busking downtown, probably the only way you could sell an album, and then lots of laughing. Of course, I never sell any albums. Nobody sells albums anymore. And then we have property joint venture. The world is now clear on where the real evil lays. God bless Israel. Well, I think the world is clear on where the evil lays, and they're not saying God bless Israel. They're actually saying stop the genocide, but the trolls are not saying that. Yuri Alive says, don't forget the red nose and the water splaying flowers. Okay, I don't know what that means. Sharon Dar, it's not even a real place. Why don't you set Narnia free? Could be much nicer. So this narrative in this is the one that they tend to go on with indefinitely, which is that Palestine is not a real place and doesn't have a history, and that their favorite thing with that is to basically confuse the whole historical narrative for people that don't understand that the whole reality of nation states in the modern sense is quite recent. So none of these places were nation states, back in the, whenever they want to refer to, so of course it's all very recent. Nation states are all very recent. The Ottoman Empire had lots of peoples and what we would now call nations within it, but it wasn't. It was an empire. It wasn't a nation state in the more modern sense. Craig McMillan says, next week, performing a show for animal rights with a pair of leather shoes on his feet. Now, this is, I don't know what he's talking about, me performing a show for animal rights, but I guess this is a troll, but it doesn't even sound like a normal line to be following for them. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. And then David Saltzman is back. Can't wait to hear your album with your smash hits like Ha 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 Hamas, Die Infidels Die, and Burn America Burn. You're gaining quite the audience. I hear the Ayatollah is looking to book you. It's truly sad that a talentless musician like yourself would quickly jump on a cause on the wrong side of history for some attention. So this is also, of course, they personalize these attacks, but at least to the extent that they seem to be able to, without actually bothering to listen to any of my music or anything like that, But they just invent possible titles. In the case of "Burn America, Burn," not too far off from an actual title. But then, of course, the insults a talentless musician that they've never listened to my music, but they have to assume that that's the case and drive it home for whatever reason. And but the main point, I think, in this one that it's relevant in terms of the Hasbara narrative is that I'm on the wrong side of history for some attention. So this is one of the things they want to emphasize is, well, for one thing, of course, you're allies with the Ayatollah if you don't like the genocide, because of course Iran is part of the what they call the axis of resistance, or at least allegedly, and so that must mean that I love everything about the Iranian government and because I oppose this genocide. But the other thing is that you're seeking some attention. That's a really common thing they keep on driving back to is this attention seeking idea that we're all on a that we're on a bandwagon, and we're just on getting on a bandwagon like we've never been pro Palestinian before, and we're new to all this history, but because it's getting into the media, we're jumping on a bandwagon. And I'm just going back for a moment to the screen where I can see comments, and just want to read the comments and see. Some of the trolls might be bots. I've heard there are quite a lot on Facebook. And it says Sirius Sky. And yeah, I guess we don't know how many are bots. And I'm sure there's a lot of the ones that they've got AI kind of bots trained to just or not even AI to make comments whenever they see a post that has the right kind of things like a Palestinian flag on it or something. Because I definitely get targeted for when I have a Palestinian flag or on the post on the picture or something like about Gaza or Palestine Action, like this T-shirt here. But yeah, it's also if these are bots, they're doing a great job of not speaking English very well, which I think is weird for a bot. Then Mark says you're doing great work. Thank you, Mark. Allah Shadid, you see them online, but never in real life. Why? You guessed it, all fake accounts. Well, yeah, you rarely see these people in real life. Certainly not, yelling at you, except like there was the attack on the encampment in Los Angeles. So, obviously these, there are Israel supporting wingnuts out there, including, former IDF soldiers who are going to universities like Columbia and attacking students there, which and then not getting any kind of problems for it. It's yeah. I'll go back to the comments now. Here's another from the river to the sea. That's the only flag you'll see, and a little picture of the Israeli flag, and then a pro-Palestine comment. Thank you, free Palestinian, misspelled, but with lots of Palestine flags, and then lots of negative reactions to that one from the trolls. And then even replies. Okay, so they said free Palestine, and then we have a picture of this is a popular one from the toilet to the sea. Picture of the Palestinian flag in the form of toilet paper, and a picture of it next to a toilet. And then we have what's this? I've seen that graphic a lot too. It's don't really. Oh, here we have. A graphic. The vampire doesn't like sunlight. Superman doesn't like kryptonite, and the pro-Palestinian doesn't like facts. So they're trying to be funny, and but always different efforts to try to undermine our understanding of reality, and try to introduce concepts that we might not be familiar with, or like that we're on a bandwagon, or that we're ignoring facts. And here's another graphic for the pro-Palestine comment that is intimating that the schools, hospitals, mosques, and amusement parks are all full of ammunition and arms, which is completely made up. And then you have Batman hitting a apparent Muslim in a turban. Is he Sikh or Muslim? Who knows? But he's wearing a turban and he has a beard and he looks like he's getting hit hard by Batman. He started to say "Free Palestine" and Batman said "Shut up." Apparently that's... And then we have somebody arguing with him. Henry Schwartz says, "Put a hand on your heart in the above scene or the picture will change. World is watching you and they have not forgotten your friend Hitler, whom you follow. So open your eyes wide and see the protest happening through the world. So gain above picture will change. Free Palestine." Well, this is a Palestine supporter who also is not very masterful as far as the English language goes, but makes some good points that what we're seeing is so much of what Hitler did being repeated. I wrote a song about that too, just like the Nazis did. It's called on my album Notes from a Holocaust. And then we have more. Let's see. Oh, No Such Place. That's and here we have cashing in much. So this is trying to undermine and it's also a very common theme that anybody who is pro-Palestinian and writing songs about that is clearly trying to cash in because of all the support for Palestine out there that presumably will sell albums. Of course, this is an antiquated accusation given that in the past 10, 11 years, nobody sells albums. Everybody streams for free on Spotify. So, no, we pay to make these recordings and we make nothing of any significance when people listen to them. So there's no cashing in. Artists don't really cash in on much of anything, particularly writing songs that will never be played on commercial radio because, of course, commercial radio is owned by the same kind of Israel-supporting people that are paying the trolls to make these comments. And here we have more denialism of reality. Will never be and have never been. And that's in relation to Palestine. From the river to the sea, Israel will be all you see. That's another one. You do realize that regardless where you stand on the political scale or who you think it right, this phrase means a call for a genocide of 7 million people. That's Amit Bobrov says that about from the river to the sea, and which is the picture in the sign. So they are reacting to specifically what are in these posts of mine. It's not just like, any random pro-Israel troll comment. They're looking at the posts and trying to come up with reactions that support their narrative. And then we have some people arguing with that one and making very eloquent points that are, of course, attacked and ignored and insulted. Here's a classic claim. It's in the Hamas charter, doofus. Do you even read or understand the hate propaganda you're promoting? Hamas leadership has made very clear that the destruction of the Jewish people everywhere is their end goal. That is just completely made up. It's not true. And then we have free the hostages first. That's the classic coming back to the hostages. From the river to the sea, Palestine is a fantasy. Oh, there's another rhyming, effort. And then we have, wow, so much irrational hate in comments. Very easy to see which side to choose. I choose love. I stand with humanity. God bless Palestine. And then that's from Felicia, who then gets 87 replies. First from Rachel Harari Brandes. Felicia, you stand with humanity and God bless Palestine in the same sentence. The same Palestine who support raping, kidnapping, mutilating babies, children, men and women. Wow, people really lost sense of moral and idea of what humanity is. Of course, there's virtually no evidence for the overwhelming majority of the claims made about all these babies and rapes and all this, while there's actually copious evidence of Israel torturing and raping and horribly abusing prisoners, including children, thousands of them in just the past few months, which is a real serious situation, rather than the overwhelmingly made up propaganda that these people go on and on about. Felicia, I saw some of your humanity joyfully trying to behead a man with a hoe on October 7th, live on Al Jazeera English. Don't think so. Yes, they were all enjoying it tremendously. Your humanity sucks. Felicia, the typically Nazi baby. And Robert Sulnier says, Felicia, you mean the love fest they started October 7th? It would all end if they released the people they stole. Won't they? Why won't they free them? Why aren't you calling for the release of the stolen people? That would end the war. There's that, bizarre assumption that releasing the hostages would somehow magically end a genocidal war, which obviously is only going to end when Hamas is destroyed, as Netanyahu and Ben-Gvir and everybody else keeps on repeating. So why they think that, freeing the hostages would end the war when the leaders of the war are saying nothing of the sort. And then we have, Felicia, you're a fag, misspelled. You chose poorly, somebody else says to Felicia. Somebody else says, this is their kind of love while they held hostages. And we have picture of Palestinian children holding a Palestinian flag, and it says, feel sorry for our shields. It's, I guess they're trying to show some kind of empathy with that comment. That's a very unusual thing. Felicia, where have you been living? You haven't seen these hate marches. Somebody else says, Colin Koski. Then Patrick Ryan. Felicia, do you support the terrorist group Hamas? Do you support their raping of women, killing children, burning families alive, taking hostages? Al Kv says, Felicia, what humanity has to do with rape, killing, kidnapping women, children, elders, just because they are the Jews? Are you retarded or pretending? You are a trivial anti-Semite. Who knows? It looks like somebody who can't speak English, but who sent it through a spell checker. Felicia, you chose love from terrorist. You a joke. That's Sylvester Shewitt. Sylvester has a very Anglo name for not being able to speak English. Zach Klausner. Felicia, you're in the wrong side if you're after love and humanity. Tom Cook says, Felicia, no, you stand with terrorism. Larry N. Stella Allison says, Felicia, where was this so-called love when your people was raping little kids and women? I'll wait for a reply. Bob Smith says, Felicia, yeah, right, Palestinian Hamas killed and tortured many Israel people, including babies, and tortured and killed a lot of hostages. Felicia, you're a complete joke, says Ruth Rosenblatt. David Zeltzman says, bye, Felicia. Jeffrey Parota says, Felicia, Palestine is a shit stain on society. What's good about it? Pushing gays off buildings and castrating them? Beheading women with chainsaws for speaking out against their husbands or not covering their faces? How about the calls for genocide in the Hamas government charter? Hamas is great if you want to choose building bombs over clean water sources. So this is so full of nonsense. They often stick to one piece of nonsense at a time, but this one is covering a whole bunch of different things at the same time. One of the popular themes, in addition to freeing the hostages, has been talking about how hard it is, allegedly, to be LGBTQ in Gaza, and this pushing gays off buildings, which is nothing I've ever heard about happening there, but it's a very commonly repeated theme. And then, of course, the Hamas charter, this supposed calling for genocide, which also isn't there. And then Artie Schwartz says, now there's a real classic kind of New York name, Artie Schwartz. Humanity. Does your humanity kill gays for no reason? Does your humanity kill babies and women and rape them? You have a strange humanity. Okay, so at least Corrine Van Wyck guess she's Dutch, supposedly. Felicia, the humanity like burning babies, raping girls, cutting off breasts of women, tearing out eyes of men, and kidnapping hundreds of innocent Jews on October 7th. Yeah, she's one of the worst English speakers in Holland, if she is Dutch, and I doubt it. Emmett Bean says, Felicia, let love win. All people deserve love and a good, healthy life. It's crazy people are suggesting otherwise. And I don't know. They may be trying to be a troll. I don't know. Joe Grima, Felicia, you chose love. Which love? 7th October love? Brainwashing children love? These are 2 Palestinian children being educated in love. And now we have a picture of children playing. I guess I don't know what they're doing, but it's apparently bad. They are mentally, it says. It's in the caption. Okay. Felicia, if you are supporting Israel, you are supporting murderers. And then we have a picture of, I don't know who, somebody who got killed, I guess. And if you guys supporting Israel, you are supporting rapist women. And that's Felicia, I guess. Okay. I guess Felicia has issues with the English language as well, but they have to have arguments in English anyway for whatever reason. Look how depraved they are. And then somebody, this is Felicia fighting back with actual photos of Israeli soldiers acting like idiots. And so, Felicia comes back with lots of stuff. And then Kyle Peterson responds to Felicia, stay uninformed. And it's somebody laughing, crying, their favorite emoji, and then their favorite graphic, which I'm surprised that it's taken this long to see. I mean, I've blocked literally thousands of people who have posted this or other related graphics. And but there are always thousands more out there who haven't yet been blocked. And this one is... cry, start a war, lose, cry. That's, they're saying it's Palestinian recycling is sometimes how they describe this graphic. And of course, what this kind of emphasizes, is this idea that it's a country somehow that started a war, it lost, and now they're crying about it, as if like all those children that are being killed are part of that whole effort. It's always going on this country thing, this history of nations, and never about the humans involved. Steve Nicklay says, Felicia, terrorist supporter. Felicia, do you agree with murder of 1,200 innocent people murdered by the cowards of Hamas? And then Dmitry Levikov says, Felicia, University posts a call for genocide of Jews publicly. Why is that allowed? Why are people not in jail for this shit? Sure, bored soldiers playing with some abandoned stuff they found is the true evil. Yeah, terrorists microwave toddlers and cut heads, but soldiers passing time is the evil part. And you call other people Nazis. So they're trying to have an argument in there. I guess we don't have to go through all the posts of people responding to Felicia, all 80 whatever it was. Let's get back to their post from my original picture. And in relation to the phrase, from the river to the sea, somebody says, do you have any idea what that really means? Presumably it means genocide of Jews, which I just somehow don't get. And somebody says, free the hostages. And somebody else, not before the hostages are free, in terms of the ceasefire question, I guess. And then we have another graphic of the toilet paper, from the toilet to the sea, and with the Palestinian flag toilet paper. And then we have this, if, these people who are complaining that Hamas is genocidal, but then we have this Palestinian flag condom wrapper and with a condom inside it, and the graphic says, some things were never meant to be born. This is advocating genocide fairly blatantly. And then we have a photo that has graphic content, which was blurred, but then we have scenes from the festival. This is what From the River to the Sea looks like, as if the Palestinians wanting to have not being bombed and besieged and ghettoized means that the alternative is this kind of violence, as if giving people freedom isn't also an alternative to ending the violence. And then we have Angela Ayala saying, they are free. They are called Arab Israelis who have freedom to religion, education, rights, and protection from cartels like Hamas, Houthis, and Hezbollahs. Well, it doesn't seem like very good protection given all the bombs falling on Israel, but this is complete nonsense. Just making up, it's throwing mud against the wall and hoping it sticks. Trying to convince people out there that, oh, well, maybe because the Palestinians within 48 are allowed to vote for their oppressor, then that means that all the other millions being bombed into death are, just not relevant. Shai Eden says, Palestine, what is it? And for that, Shai Eden got 81 likes. So that's, obviously all from trolls. And 88 replies. Palestine, what is it? Let's see, what are the replies? Are they people fighting back, or is it more people agreeing with Shai? It's a made-up place. The place which Israel stole. And there's a... then the trolls are back. A fictional place. It's a land that is stolen and robbed by Israel and killed its people. Oh, there's a defender, Palestine. Then they build illegal settlements on it, and you live in that settlement. That's why you act blind and deaf. Shai probably didn't live somewhere else. But then Ian Day, a nation of people that the Arab world wants nothing to do with. Okay. I wish that were more true. And then I don't know what they're arguing about here exactly. But we have From the Toilet to the Sea graphic again. And here's more. Let's see. Let's get back to the attacks on my... Oh, here we go. The best thing about Palestine, in quotes, is it doesn't exist. There's a popular graphic that I've seen a whole lot. And here we have some positive, but more. Oh, and because I had another post from the Palestine Museum in Bristol, we now have these posts that somebody created from non-existent museums. And here's Rita Trabelsi with a graphic that says, "Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the Museum of Ancient Palestinian History," and all the walls are blank. That's supposed to be very funny, apparently. And then we have a Palestinian flag and an Israeli flag, both planted in the ground, but the Israeli flag is 57, 84 years old, and the Palestinian one is 60 years old, and this is supposed to be a justification for European Jews to invade and take over Arab land. Here's another toilet to the sewer, From the Toilet to the Sewer, more Palestinian flag toilet paper. And here they are in a football stadium somewhere, must be somewhere in Israel, where the flag says a Palestinian flag, and superimposed over that the words "never existed, never will." And what are we up to now? How many comments? It's like 50 of 876 now, so, oh my goodness. Well, let's see, what else? I'll go back to look on the comments. Yeah. Well, I think I've given people a flavor of the trolling, and that's what I intend to do, and it gets a bit repetitive, and I think I'll just stop for now. But I won't ask if you enjoyed that necessarily because it's pretty horrible, depraved stuff, but there it is. And now, if you're local in Portland, I will see you at PSU, which is where I'm going to go right now, and perhaps play some music if it seems like an appropriate occasion. Otherwise, just hang around the encampment for a bit and see what's happening next down there. I'd say happy May Day, but it's not a very happy May Day. And once again, if you are at any of these campus encampments or any other pro-Palestine protests somewhere in the world, my new album, Bearing Witness, is out on all the streaming platforms today. And the first 9 songs on it are all about the genocide. And some of the others are fairly relevant as well. And there's Joan Jeffries, David Rovics on tour 2024, Chicago, Ann Arbor, Detroit. This is true. Ann Arbor, I don't know about. I'd love to go to Ann Arbor. Maybe Joan wants to set something up there. But I'm looking forward to seeing Joan and other folks in Chicago in August at the Democratic National Convention. I will also, just before that, doing a little tour of Northern California with Chet Gardner, who played with me on the latest 2 albums and others as well, Killing the Messenger as well. And he'll be playing with me. And yeah, keep on keeping on, everybody. Don't let the trolls get you down. I hope somebody got something useful out of this. But if not, if not, oh well. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.